Right. So I'm going to go ahead.
Alrighty.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Mhm. Let's go. So welcome. This is for any students who are graduating this summer or who are graduating in the fall semester. We have a few topics to cover. We're going to talk about filing your intent to graduate, student spotlight slides, a way for us to celebrate you, commencement information, the things you might need to request before and after you graduate, and just any kind of questions you might have about licensure. We'll get to that. The first thing to start your graduation process is filing an intent to graduate. If you are graduating in the summer, you have done it. You're complete. You're ready to go to graduate. But if you are a fall graduate, you have until October 10th to submit your intent to graduate. And you do so by going to My UCF, clicking on the Student Self-Service Center, Student Center, and then you'll click that drop-down menu and click Intent to Graduate Apply. We'll be sending this PowerPoint out for you to refer to. There is a guide put together by the registrar's office that shows you exactly what you need to do each step of the way to fill out your intent to graduate. So I encourage you to check that out. When you apply for graduation, it's very important to select the correct semester. You might see summer, fall, spring listed, so be sure to just check the semester in which you are graduating. So students who graduated in the summer have chosen the summer. If you're graduating in the fall, be sure to check fall 2025. This example here is obviously not our program, but it will say Master of Social Work, and then it'll show your track as being the online part-time track. Your diploma, will not say that you are in an online program. I know some people get a little concerned about that. It'll just say that you earned your Masters of Social Work from UCF. And when you get to this screen, you're going to have the option to put in your advisor name. You can put my name or Minoska's name in. It doesn't matter. Either one will work. And make sure that you've included your name the way that you want it to appear on your diploma. If you see the option for a thesis, you can select non-thesis option as that's not a requirement of our program. At the end of your intent to graduate, you will have the option to complete a graduate main survey or UCF main survey, it's called. You can do this right after you do your intent to graduate, or you can come back later and do it. It's basically just asking you some questions about your time at UCF. If you see something called major surveys, those are not required for graduate students. It's just for students who select a major to study. And you can access this either right after you do your intent to graduate, or you can go back to My UCF and access it later. You can also check your intent to graduate after submission. So if you want to see the status, was it submitted? You'll get a confirmation email, but sometimes it just feels good to go into a system and see it says completed. So you can do that also through My UCF. You just click that drop down menu and select intent to graduate status, and you'll see the following screen. Notice of intent to graduate submitted. It'll show the date you did it and then when the confirmation email was sent to you. I've struck through major surveys completed as that is not something that you need to do. And then it will say UCF survey completed. It's not required, but we like to gather the information. Okay, moving on. In your final year of the program, and you might have experienced this at the end of your generalist year, you do a survey for us so we know kind of how field is going, how the program is going. At the end of your clinical year, in your clinical three course, you will do a capstone. In some programs, a capstone is a requirement that is a course or a project or some big thing. For us, it's an assessment, but it's not you don't need to get a certain grade on it to graduate. You just need to complete it. So it doesn't matter what your score is, you're going to graduate, but you have to complete it. We don't know how the scores are posted or made available. I believe if you get over a certain percentage, you get a certificate. But what I would suggest is if you have any questions about the completion of this capstone assessment, that you discuss it with your field instructor. They have more information about it, but I think it's sent to you as a link and then you complete it. So if you do have any questions about that, reach out to your field instructor directly. I'm going to pass it over to Minoska now.
All right, so celebrating you guys. So next we're going to talk a little bit about the graduation slides and the presentation that we need your help to create. So as online students, you all don't really have like an official big in-person graduation with our department specifically because you're all over the nation, so that would be kind of hard, right? I know some of you do come down to Florida and you like to do that to take advantage of family or go to Disney or whatever, and you might as well go to the big graduation. But for us specifically, what we like to do with our online students is we need your help to create a presentation. So we're gonna go over what that looks like and what the requirements are. And Adriana, if she can go to the next slide. Okay, cool. So these are what we call our student spotlight slides. So basically, it's a PowerPoint presentation slide with all of your lovely faces on there and your name, however you want us to appear, where you are in the United States, your career goals. So what do you want to do now with this degree that you worked so hard to accomplish, right? So where do you want to work? With what population do you want to work with? And even if you're planning on moving to a different state to do this, or even a different country, if that's something that you intend to do, it would be really cool to put on the slide. A lot of our students enjoy putting a brief message to their family and their friends, especially people who've supported them throughout this process. You guys do a lot of work, and I know that sometimes it takes a village to be able to get this done, right? So if you want to put like a little thank you message on there. Also, some people like to put a favorite quote, someone who's inspired them during this time, that sort of thing. And of course, a picture of yourself so that we know who you are. We could put a face to a name, right? It's your opportunity to have fun with this. Think of it as like the students who decorate their little caps, right, at graduation. So that's how I like to look at it. But this is your opportunity to have fun. Once we get those, they're all put together, and it's kind of like a little virtual graduation, and you'll be able to see everyone in your cohort. It'll be sent out to you by Adriana, and it's really nice. It's really fun. So take advantage of it. For summer, the due date will be August 11th, and for fall, it'll be December 7th. You'll have to send that over to Adriana, and we'll make sure that everybody gets a copy of it, okay? And these are just some examples of past ones. They're all very beautiful. So again, your name, a quote here, a little bit about yourself. People put pictures of their families, their kids. It's really, really cute. So yeah, again, this is your time to have fun with it, be creative, and allow your cohort to get to know you a little bit better if they didn't get the opportunity. Okay, so some important commencement information. So that down there is the graduation website. That's where you're going to have all the details for everything, the most up-to-date information, and we'll send that to you afterwards. So summer commencement is actually this weekend, so this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Graduates need to get there earlier. So if you are intending to be there in person, make sure you're there. I believe it's at least an hour before this. And you'll have to line up and everything. But the actual ceremony is at 2:30 p.m. Again, it is in person. This is the big one, right? So this is for everybody in our college, the College of Health Professions and Sciences. If you are planning on walking, you will be required to order a cap and gown. So that's going to be through Herff Jones. All that information is in the commencement website. It's approximately 2 hours. Every family or each graduate gets only 5 tickets. And yes, children and babies are required to have a ticket, even if they're not walking yet. So I know that's really weird, but yes, they are required to have a ticket. If you want to get extra tickets from, a friend or something, that's allowed, but, and Adriana, correct me if I'm wrong, but they also have to be graduating. Um,
They have
or
to
they
be
also have to
graduating.
be in the ceremony, I believe, right?
They have to at least have gotten their cap and gown
Mhm.
in order to get those 5 tickets. So they can share them with you. But if you wanted to get them from somebody who was not planning to attend, they don't get tickets.
Yeah. And then the commencement website will have more information on how to get that. Um, and it will be live streamed. So let's say you have a lot more than 5 people in your family going to join you, and you weren't able to get extra tickets. They will have the opportunity to be there, but outside. They'll have it live streamed everywhere. So they'll still be able to see it live and in person in that way. So for fall, the commencement won't be until December. It hasn't been updated officially yet. Right now, it's just the summer information, but typically it's around December 12th or 13th, and it'll be on a Friday or a Saturday. Okay, so just a few things to know before leaving. So you have the opportunity to connect with career services. You only have a few months to do this, to take advantage of it as a student, I believe. I mean, anyone's able to go online even after graduating and checking, but I believe there's a limit, right, Adriana?
Yeah, there's fewer services once you're not a
Mhm.
student anymore.
Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. And we have a contact as well if you guys are interested. Um, but there's also the licensure process. We do have a recorded session about what that's like after you graduate, and the steps. So that's something that we can send out to you guys if you're interested. So please let us know. Um, and I know that a lot of you guys will be coming to us later and asking for a letter. So please, if you need like a verification letter or anything like that for licensure, make sure to email us directly and we can get that to you. And of course, Adriana and myself and your success coach are here right up until the moment you graduate. And we still like staying in contact with you guys. So we always want to know what cool stuff you're doing after graduation. So please feel free to reach out to us and let us know. But yeah, I don't know if Adriana has anything else to add to that last part.
Nope, I think we'll cover them in the next few slides.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so connecting with career services. This is really cool, you guys, and I would highly encourage you to take advantage of it because it's your opportunity to have them go over your resume, cover letters, connect you with different resources, different job opportunities. They practice interview skills with you. Um, and they have resources online on the website for students specifically that you should take advantage of. And it's really important, especially with social work, to practice networking skills and strategies and how to do that, right? As you know, the social work circle is tight. So you want to be able to know as many people as possible to help you advance in your career and later in the future when you're working on licensure and supervision and that sort of thing, you want to be sure that you know people, right? So that's really important. I do believe we have somebody in career services that we know. She's really nice, very great. So if you're interested in speaking with somebody personally, we can get you her contact information as well.
she was a UCF student and
Hmm.
now she's an LCSW. So
Yeah, yeah.
she's very familiar with how the program works and
Hmm.
how it works to get licensed afterwards. Her name is Alexandra Minnick, and we'll send you a follow-up email after this session and be sure to include her contact information. Okay, so if you have not yet looked for licensure information for the state that you're hoping to practice in after graduation, now's a good time. You could just do a Google search. You can start with your state or and type in LCSW for licensed clinical social worker. Some states call it something a little different. So just look for the state board website for social work licensure and you'll be able to find it. You can also go to the ASWB website, and it'll show you a state by state checklist, and you can check the states that you're interested in and get to know what the requirements are for those states. Some students start in one state and move to another, or if you're looking to move in the future, it's a good idea to kind of think in the back of your head what requirements you might need if you're going to be somewhere else. Another place with good information about licensure and otherwise are local NASW chapters. So if you go to this website, you'll find the local chapter for where you're looking. They can help you with information about the test that you need to take afterwards, or just connecting to whatever's going on with social work in your area. So we encourage you to look at those even if you're not pursuing licensure. One of the things that you'll need if you are pursuing licensure is a transcript. You might also want one for your own personal records. You will request your transcript through MyUCF. So that same drop-down menu, just choose transcript, request official. And when you go, you're going to have a few options. You can either say you want to send it to another university if you're going on to another program. You can have it sent directly to yourself. You can also have it sent directly to the board where you are applying for licensure. For students graduating in the summer, it's a little bit strange because while the commencement ceremony is on Saturday, you're actually in class for another 2 weeks. You might have completed your internship already, but the classes don't officially end until August 15th, or yeah, August 15th. So the process of awarding your degree doesn't happen until a few weeks after that. So when you make a transcript request, if you are graduating in the fall or if you are graduating in the summer and you make this request now, you are going to want to be sure that you select the hold for degree option. If you have it sent as it is right now, it's not going to show that your degree has been awarded. It's going to show that you're in progress in your final classes and it'll show all the grades you've gotten beforehand. But the important official piece of that you have earned your MSW, won't be listed. If you do select hold for degree, then they will hold until your degree is put on your transcript and conferred, and then they will send it out to either you or the state board, wherever you've requested to have it sent. Another aspect, some states require a certification of education to be filled out or a verification of practicum, some sort of a letter from the institution where you earned your MSW, confirming that you earned your MSW, confirming that you completed a field practicum. If you need such a letter or a form completed, this is where you're going to request it. We'll make sure that you have this link and we'll remind you of it. But this is always something if you're not seeking licensure right away, if you're coming back in a couple of years and you're like, hey, how do I do this? Just reach out to one of us and we will be sure to provide you the link. What you'll see when you go to the link is questions like your name, what do you want it to say on your licensure letter, especially if it's different from the name that you had at UCF. Um, your pronouns, contact information, where and when you completed your clinical placement. Some students start at one location and end at another, and the boards are most interested in where you completed it. So where were you in your final semester when you were going to graduate? If your state has a requirement for a letter to be completed, there's an option to attach that letter in this request. Your degree will not be conferred until several weeks after you finish classes. So, as I mentioned before, with the hold for degree option, even though you're done with your classes, everything is complete, you've done all of your hours, you're officially done, technically haven't earned that degree until it is conferred. That conferral date happens after they work on it after you finish classes and we review grades and all that stuff. But that means that official transcripts can't be sent out and licensure verification, letters for potential employers, they can't be sent out until the degree has been conferred. Right now, for students graduating in August, it's not going to be probably until the beginning of September that those degrees are conferred around Labor Day. You're welcome to reach out to us and ask us if it's been conferred or submit your request ahead of time, and we'll hold on to it until it's been conferred and then send it out. But just know that the only thing we can provide before the degree has been conferred is a pending letter. And that pending letter says, hey, the student has completed all the requirements for the MSW, but pending a final review of all of their requirements, then their degree will be conferred on such and such date. So just keep that in mind because I think that confuses some people that I'm done with classes. That means I graduated. We still have to wait just a little bit longer. And then after the degree is conferred, then the diploma process will begin, and a diploma will be mailed out to you, and you'll also get access to an electronic diploma. So you have a copy of it if anybody needs it. And then finally, we just want to remind you about Barbara. She's been your success coach with us for a while. So you might have had experience working with her. If you haven't connected with her yet and you'd like to, she's just a great cheerleader. She's a great champion of our students, and she can really help with any questions you might have about navigating services at UCF, including career services. Or if you are just like, I don't know what I want to do after I get this degree, she's just a great person to chat with, and everybody seems to feel better after talking with Barbara. So we always encourage students to make an appointment to meet with her. Um, so be sure to check her out before you depart. And then us. We are your advisors. We are always here via phone, email, live sessions like this. We are happy to have a meeting with you if you have any questions now or after you graduate. If you're not sure what you do next, we're happy to help you with that. We're not social workers ourselves, so we are able to connect you with the people who can help you. But we are here to answer any academic questions you might have, like where is my degree conferral? Did I do everything I needed to do? Can you give me a letter from my employer that says I am going to graduate or I'm in my final semester? Some states let you sit for the ASWB exam in your final semester of the program. So if you're in one of those states, reach out to us and we are happy to help you with that. So that is the end of our presentation. I'm going to stop it. I know we had some questions in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and start there. Let's see. All right, I'm going to start from the top here. Kyla says, I'm interested in the licensure steps you have, please. So if you are, it depends on the state. I'll just say that. It depends on the state. It's a little bit different for every state. We're very familiar with Florida, very familiar with New York. There's a lot of popular ones that come up. So if you Google or you're confused and you're not really sure, you can reach out to me and let me know the state that you're looking to do your licensure in, and I'm happy to help you navigate exactly what is required. Um, Most important is getting those transcripts. Most important is making sure that you know what your state requires. So I would definitely just start with a quick Google search and seeing what it is. If you are pursuing licensure in Florida, I have a detailed guide for how you will apply for licensure that was provided by the state. Not all states have something like that. But Kyla, if you want to tell us what state you're in, or if you want to reach out to me personally, I'm happy to get that information for you.
She's from Florida. She just popped in and
Perfect.
wrote it. Yeah. And also the video that I was referencing earlier is from an old session that one of our field faculty members, two of them were kind enough to host a session for our students. Um, and if you're interested in seeing one of them, I only have one recording, and it's a more generalized one. So it's not specific to Florida, it's in general. I can send that out to you. Just shoot me an email and I can get that to you. Um, I don't know of any upcoming ones. I don't know if Adriana does either, but I know the last ones, the last two that I'm referencing, we did post it on our Facebook. So if you're interested in any future ones, just check the Facebook and it'll probably be posted on there. And it's welcome to all current or, former students. So yeah.
And if you have Jill Davis or Christina Kutchman as your field instructor for your final semester, you'll get that in your field course. They will make that sort of presentation part of your final assignment or, part of the module for the end of the class. So a lot of you will get access to that through your own class. But if not, we want to make sure that everybody has the ability to see it. So we will make sure that we send that. There's a couple other Florida licensure questions in here, so I'm just going to jump down here. In Florida, can you start licensure application before graduation, or do we need to wait until after graduation or degree conferring? You can start the process. You can go start the application and fill in your information, but they cannot assign you a registered intern number until the application is completed. My recommendation is to wait until you have all the items at the same time. So when you know your degree has been conferred, that is the time to do it, in my opinion. Sometimes when you do it ahead of time and you're waiting on pieces, those pieces get misplaced or lost by the state, and then you end up having to resubmit them. So, my advice is to wait. There are certain states where you don't have to wait until you graduate, but that is, like I said, it depends on the state that you're in. Let's see. Minoska, do you want to grab another question in here?
There's a question about networking. So I think a good one would be like the NAS WB, the chapters. That's a good way to connect with people. I would also really encourage you guys to talk to your professors, especially your field instructors. Um, I'm sorry, Adriana, I don't know you were going to say something.
I was gonna
Oh,
say it seems like they want to connect with social workers on campus.
oh, sorry, I didn't
So
read the
even
whole
if they're
question.
online students, so the MSWSA, the
Oh, yeah.
MSW Student
Hmm.
Association, is the Student Association for MSW students. So I would suggest connecting with them. They have
Hmm.
virtual meetings. If they have one coming up, I believe, we can make sure to include that information in our email to you after the session. But that's a great way because it's comprised of students in the online tracks and the campus-based tracks. So that's a great way to connect with social workers on campus.
Hmm.
Also, a lot of your faculty work on campus. So they are great contacts if you have questions, if you're interested in a certain kind of social work or therapy method, they're great for picking their brains to see what is out there and who you can talk to about that. The Valeria, when are our transcripts available? So it depends. Transcripts are available at any time for any of your past classes right now, but they won't show your final classes until the degree is conferred. And I am going to peek really quickly to see if I have the date by which the degree should be conferred. Let's see. Your degree will be conferred by September 8th. Most likely, it will happen before that time because the College of Graduate Studies, who does this certification process, prioritizes programs where students go on to get licensed. So yours are usually done in the first batch of certification. So I would suggest, keeping an eye on your email about the end of August, and seeing if you have gotten confirmation that your degree has been conferred. If you have made a request already, and I've gotten some, I'll hold on to those until I see that your degree has been conferred, and then I will send those out. But definitely by September 8th. That's the deadline for it to be done. How long does it typically take for the degree to be conferred? There we go. I think I got that. How long they have after graduation to begin the licensure process. Depends on the state, but I don't think there's a limit. We've had a lot of students come back after 10, 15 years and they're like, I need a letter and I would like to start the licensure process with my state. And that's been fine. I think there is a limit once you, for example, in Florida, if you are a registered clinical intern, you have so many hours you need to complete within a 2-year period. I think you have a time frame of 5 years to get those completed. And after that, you have to start the process again. But I don't think there's a limit for you to start that process. I will take the next one. How do we obtain a pending letter? That would be an email to me saying that you'd like a pending letter. Either I can send it directly to you, I can send it to an employer, a potential employer, anything like that. If you just want to send me an email, I can do that for you. Do you want to take the next one, Minoska?
Sorry about that. So how do we obtain a pending letter? I think you answered
That's
this
yep,
one. Yeah,
yep,
okay.
just got that one.
So the next one is from Miriam. We can initiate the licensure process of different states at the same time. So yes, I believe you can. Uh, I
You'll
don't know if
have to
you.
check
Mhm.
how they require your supervision to be done because they won't all accept if you do your supervision in Florida, for
Mhm.
example, that might not count towards hours in Georgia if you are applying at the same time.
Mhm.
So just check how they require supervision to be completed. If you can double dip like that, that's a question for that state board.
Yeah. And if there's some states like New York that they require a specific class, don't they? That we may or may not offer.
Yes. So after you graduate, some of the requirements, like for example, Florida and New York, they have like a laws and rules class. They might have a child abuse class or some sort of continuing education that you need to be enrolled in. Um, that is part of the licensure process. So when you go to find your state's requirements, that's usually listed there. Another one is working with HIV/AIDS population. There's just some continuing ed that needs to be done. But it's a good idea to check your licensure requirements before you graduate because, as Minoska mentioned, sometimes your state will require something like human sexuality. Human sexuality is an elective, and if you didn't take it and you need it, there might be a chance for us to offer it before you get out of here, but it might also be something that you need to pursue after you graduate.
I
Yes,
have,
Miriam?
thank you for responding my question. I want to, I have a question about it.
Sure.
In case of that, for example, I am in Florida. I want to get the license for Florida, obviously, but in case I need another course and I am graduate, may
Yeah.
I do that registration to you guys, or how is exactly work? And would be like a continue education, or what exactly
Sure. So if
could
it's
be?
an academic class that you need, for example, a substance abuse class or the human sexuality class, you can sometimes take it at a different university or any university as a non-degree seeking student. So that means that you just need a class. You don't need the whole degree that the class is in. And they will have a special like application process that you do just to take that one class. Unfortunately, in the online MSW, we do not allow students to just take one or two classes. If you take our classes, you have to be in our program. Sometimes there are classes offered at UCF that may fill the need that's required for your state that are outside of the online MSW. And typically those are fine for you to enroll in. We've had a few students. We do have continuing education classes offered periodically throughout the semester, and we can send a link to show you what is upcoming, where you can get those continuing ed credits that you might need.
Okay,
Sure.
thank you.
Let's see. And do we have any resources or courses to prepare us for the LCSW? Sure. There are a lot of licensure prep courses out there, and there is one that is very popular that is a former UCF faculty member, um, Dr. G, Dr. D. I can't remember now, Sophia. Yeah,
Mhm.
we can get you that information as well. If we ever host one here, we'll be sure to post it on our Facebook group. So if you are an alum and you're not checking web courses or the advising portal all the time, that you still know it's going to be available. So I encourage you to join if you haven't, and just keep checking our advising portal if you're still a current student for a little bit longer. If we have anything related to licensure prep. It looks like Kyla recommends Pocket Prep as an app to help practice for the exam. So that's very helpful.
Thank
Let's
you.
see. Yeah, of
In
course.
case I'm interested to Dr. G course, you
Yes.
can share with us the information just in case.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, that'll
Yes.
be something. So we will send you a very thorough email after the session wraps with our presentation, with the link to the recording, and with several other resources in it. So pursuing licensure, talking to that woman at Graduate Career Services, excuse me, the licensure prep course, not sorry, not the licensure prep course, but the licensure like explanation
Mhm.
session that was hosted by our field faculty. So we'll be sure that you get a lot of information coming your way. But if there's too much or you need help navigating it, you can always reach out to us.
Thank you so much, and thank you for doing this.
Of
That is
course.
very necessary for us, and thank you.
Yeah. If you are graduating in the fall, we'll do another one of these. It will be
Okay,
very
good.
similar to this. We weren't able to secure a speaker for today, but probably in the fall, we'll have either a field faculty member or we might invite Alexandra again from Career Services, somebody to talk to you about their personal licensure or their social work process, so that you can get access
Yeah,
to whatever
I am
resources they have.
interested. I am interested, and I graduate in fall.
Oh,
So
great.
yes,
We
thank you.
also, which will include those, the link to our YouTube page, which has past sessions that we've done, and they include guest speakers, and you might be interested to hear about their sort of path to licensure, path to working in academia, that sort of thing.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yes.
I don't know if we answered Cynthia's question
Oh,
about starting licensure application before graduation.
yeah,
Um,
some states you can. Um, I was suggesting that you should wait until your degree has been conferred. Otherwise, sometimes the materials get lost. Sometimes you can upload them to a portal, but there's a time limit, like you need to submit everything within 10 business days. And so to be on the safe side, it's a good idea to wait until your degree has been conferred. How soon would we know commencement dates since there are two possibilities? Yeah. So typically they post it within a month of the graduation ceremony from the prior semester. So this Saturday is the ceremony. So I would check back at the end of August, early September, and hopefully we'll know which date in December is the graduation date for our college.
Mhm.
We will also send you an email once we know. Typically, we send it when we remind you to complete your intent to graduate if you hadn't. Are we getting tickets for graduation? So if you are graduating this summer, there was a ticket pickup if you were local to campus, but if you're not local to campus, you can pick it up on the day of. There's a ticket window essentially you can go to, or you can call the bookstore to set up a time to get them. But as long as you get them the day of the ceremony, you should be good. For students who are graduating in the fall, there's a ticket pickup window. Again, it's a week-long event on campus where you can pick up your tickets at any time. If you're not local to campus, you can have someone pick them up on your behalf, or you can also pick them up before the ceremony. So there's 5 tickets for the summer, probably 4 or 5 tickets each for the fall. I think we got all the questions that were in the chat right now. If there's any more, please feel free to type them in or unmute yourselves, and we will do our best to answer them.
Yes. I have another question.
Sure.
Just in case, when I start the when I start to do my hours to get the license,
Yeah.
if I currently in one agency, and in case I have opportunity to do more hours in another agency at the same time, we can require a letter. It doesn't matter if we are not student, currently student in that time.
If you're not currently a student at that time, you mean during the licensure process when you're earning your supervised hours and you have the chance to go to another agency? So
Uh-huh.
typically that's okay. You can do it at more than one agency. You would need to work with your qualified supervisor. Sometimes they're associated with an agency and sometimes they're not. So sometimes they just have independent supervision that they offer you. So you would need to work with them because they're the one that's going to be signing off on your hours for the state and has to
Got it.
confirm that you've done your hours. So where you do them is not as big of a deal as who is confirming that they've been done.
I have another question.
Yeah,
I am new in this.
that's okay.
When we became a registered intern,
Yeah,
we need like an insurance, like a normal practice insurance, but we need what kind of insurance?
sure. That's a great
Oh,
question I don't know the answer to.
okay.
But your field instructor is a good person to ask. You can say, I just
Good.
attended this graduation session where we talked about licensure, and I'm curious about what sort of insurance we have to carry as a registered intern.
Yeah,
So,
that is a question I have, and maybe you have some companies they can share with
yeah,
us. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
sure. So that's the end of our presentation. We will hang out for a few more minutes if anybody else has any questions. But we will get this presentation and all those links and resources out to you by tomorrow, maybe later today. We'll see how the day goes. But thank you so much for joining us. These were really great questions. Have a good rest of your summer and congratulations to those of you graduating on Saturday. Jenny,
Thank you so much.
of course, you're welcome.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.